Welcome guys to another Blackfyre Productions World War Marvel. As you know, I'm Adam, and I got this guy with me today. We got Taylor here. Taylor has had one other game.
Yes, one Marvel game.
He just got his X-Men and Deadpool packs, so he's gonna
just open them today. So I'm gonna use some of your guys to play.
That's right, and then hopefully eventually doing some filming also for us as well for it. Yep. So he's gonna be using my guys. We're gonna be doing a 36 level. Approximately a game. I have 35. He has 36
I'm
levels.
the new guy. I need
That's
the
right.
extra point.
Yes. If you remember the last time we played, he actually beat me, so I don't think that's the case. So, but yeah, so we're going to be doing survival, which is one of the 3 core missions from the main rule book, and so it's just the one that you had the rule book for, and so that's what we pulled out and what we're doing. So he's going to be using mutants. I'm going to be using Cosmic-ish, neutral, cosmic when you factor in Doom. And that's what it is. So if you haven't played Survival yet, there's 5 victory points. Excuse me, guys. Last 6 rounds, you gain the victory points by incapacitating the highest level model on your opponent's side. So for him, he has 2 at level 8, so he's choosing Wolverine. Pretty smart because he has regen. Where me, I have Dr. Doom at 11 points, so he has to take out Doom. And then you get another victory point if your highest level model is not incapacitated at the end of the round and so is still kicking around and stuff. You then get 1 extra victory point if half of your models are still alive at the end of the game, as well as additional victory point if all of them are alive. So those are accumulative. So that's 4. No, probably not. Yeah. And then the way that you get your 5th victory point is if half of your opponent's models have been incapacitated, half or more, I should say. Again, it goes 6 rounds, like I said, and that is that. So we already determined that I am going to be the defender, so I'll be setting up within the 6-inch square in the center of the board. Taylor here, he's going to be attacking my guys, and
so I'm within 3
inches of the board edge, and his guys can't set up within 2 inches of each other. We have decided to do a different style of board instead of the cityscape that you've been watching us film on quite a bit. We're actually going to do more of a forest style board this time around. So getting outside of the urban feel and going more for like that Tavian sort of forested, because you sort of look at that's sort of like the Romania style country. It's sort of similar to Romania, and they're heavily forested and mounted, so that's the look that we're going for this time. So let's show you the teams, let's show you the board, and then get right into the game. Here's my team for today's mission. Starting off on the left-hand side there, I have Rocket with all his shooting attacks in this mission. And then beside him is Nova. And then we got Dr. Doom and also Groot on that side. So that is 35 levels for the Cosmic team. And here's Taylor's team for this match. He is using Wolverine as his leader today. So we have Wolverine in the front with Cyclops, Colossus, Rogue, and Deadpool. So these are the models that Taylor has purchased for the Marvel Universe miniature game. And so we'll be seeing those painted up and hopefully in a battle report himself quite soon. So we'll come back and we'll show you the board next. Here's a mat that we are playing on. It is a 4x4 urban mats, Badlands mats, which is amazing. It's the first time I've actually seen it, so it's amazing graphics on there, and it's very, very well done. So we have a nice little cliff over here. We've got a couple of stone fences going on, a whole bunch of trees, river set, another sort of rocky outcropping there, some crates in the center, and that is that. So we're going to come back with deployment next. Taylor's first deployment for this match is Rogue, setting her up right in that corner, right there. And my first deployment is going to be Rocket, right in the center there. And Taylor's second deployment is Colossus, right behind that tree. And straight back behind Rocket. Nova set up right there beside Rocket, and straight across from Colossus. Wolverine's been set up right beside Colossus, and it's just within 9 inches of the board. Not sure if you can see them there mixed in with all the trees, but Groot is setting up right beside Rocket, and Nova on the other side, right down there, Cyclops there has been set up and is a straight shot over to Nova and Rocket. And Doom has been set up right there as my last deployment. And Deadpool has been set up right there, straight across from Dr. Doom. So we'll come back with the first round initiative phase next. Phase, Taylor is blue, I'm white, so let's see what type of bead he pulls out. And it is blue. Do you want first activation or second?
I'll take first.
First, we'll come back with his first activation then. Cyclops here, he's going to be, for his first part of his activation, he's going to be targeting Groot all the way behind that tree there. I'm not sure if you can see him. With a Optic Devastation, overloaded. So Groot has improved his energy defense by 1, leaving him with 7 power left, and he does get a +1 defense from the obstructing terrain there. So here's the roll. So that is a critical hit first off, and it does actually hit Groot. So he takes how many damage?
3 damage.
So +1 because it is a critical, so that is 4 damage to Groot, and everybody else will have to also see if they get hit here in a second. Alright, so starting off, we're just going to roll for Doom. So he needs to roll to hit Doom, who has a energy defense of 16. So he needs not enough. So he does not hit Doom with that, so he takes no damage. So Rocket. Rocket is an 18, so not enough as well. And then over here against Nova. Nova definitely takes 2 damage. Well, I should say, takes an agility roll to see if he actually passes that. So he has agility of 8, so he fails by that, so he is taking 3 damage from that attack. Also, with that damage and explosive, we got a bunch of terrain here in the center that will be destroyed due to the explosion. So we got a tree that's being removed, statue, stone wall, and all 3 crates that Rocket is on. But he is not over 3 inches in height, so he does not fall prone or take any damage from that. And replacing all the terrain is a lovely explosive crater from Cyclops. So we'll see what else he does with the rest of his 3 power. Cyclops here is next going to be using a focus beam with 2 to target Nova. Nova then is going to be using 2 power to cancel the attack using energy absorption, which then improves his damage for his Nova Pulse for the next round. Cyclops with the last power, he's going to use his take a move action just to get behind that rock and hide out for cover. Nova's going to be my first activation for the first round. He's going to use 1 power. He's technically right behind the crate, just he won't balance there, so I set him back here. But he's going to use 1 power, and he's just going to move over here to have a clear line of sight to Wolverine and be within 8 inches. He's then going to overload a Nova Pulse into Wolverine using the last 4 of his power. Are you going to do anything with Wolverine? So you can improve his defense. And he's outside of 2 inches, so you can't use Bodyguard by Colossus, unfortunately.
He's going to improve his defenses.
Okay, yeah. So his energy defense goes up from a
16
to an 18. So it goes up by 2. And so I need to get an 18 or a 19 or higher on 3 dice. All right, so here's the roll. I do have an attack of 6 because he's still healthy. So I need 13 on 3 dice. 13. And my dice, again, don't like me much. So that is a whole whopping 9 plus his attack 6 is only 15. So Nova fails, and that is the end of his activation. Taylor here is going to activate Colossus next. What are you going to do with him?
I'm going to use 1 power to move him 4 inches over here.
Into base contact with Wolverine.
With Wolverine.
Oh.
That. And then he's going to pick up Wolverine.
Yeah. So that then uses 3 power.
So we're using 4, so Colossus is down to 3 right now. And he's going to throw Wolverine.
Okay.
Into
Nova. Awesome. So Colossus needs to beat a physical defense of 15. So his attack value is what for Colossus?
For Colossus?
7? 6?
7 because he's got the
still healthy.
Yeah.
So you need to roll a 9 or higher on.
Can I overload it?
You sure can. Drop another power.
I'll drop another power.
Yeah.
And overload it.
And so that is 6 plus your attack value of 7, 13. It is a miss, so he takes no damage from that. But I believe he still gets the fastball special with Wolverine. So Wolverine ends up there after being thrown. He is not dealt, Nova is not dealt any damage or is not knocked prone. So next, Wolverine's going to use his fastball special abilities spending 1 power to activate it. And he is going to need to beat 16 or 17 or higher on his attack roll.
Can I overload this?
Mm-hmm. You sure can.
Yeah.
All right, so an overloaded fastball special leaves Wolverine with 4 power. And so that is 13, 15 plus his attack bonus. That is definitely damage to Nova. And so that is how much? It's a snicked attack, so 2 damage. 2 damage. But because of Nova's resistance to physical, it's down to 1. Doom is going to be my next activation, and he is going to target Wolverine with a Mystical Blast overloaded. So he is within 12 inches. You can't improve your magical defense, so he does get a +1 from the terrain though here. So he has a 13 magical defense, goes up to 14. So I need to get 15 or higher when I add 3 dice plus the attack of Doom together. So that is not good. That was a 2. And a 4 and a 1, so that's what, 7 plus his attack value of 6, I believe. So that is a fail for Dr. Doom. And then he's just going to do a normal one to see if he does it again. So roll better. 5 plus the attack value of Dr. Doom fails. Doom is failing in this game. That is not good. Taylor's next activation is going to be Wolverine on Nova. He's going to be using a normal snicked attack against him, so he needs to beat a 16 or he needs to roll in total 17 or higher, because Nova does have
I need
fly.
to roll.
You have an attack value of 6.
6, so I need to roll 11 or higher.
Yeah. Onto dice.
6,
and
12.
that is 12, and that is a critical hit on Nova, so he takes 2 damage from that first attack. Second attack from Wolverine onto Nova, and that is a miss right there. Next activation for me is going to be Groot. He's going to use 2 power to move into base contact with Wolverine. He's then next going to use an overloaded grab and throw ability. Wolverine has no power to improve his physical defense, so he does have a physical defense of 16. And so I need to get 17 or higher on 3 dice plus the attack value of Groot, which is 7 or 6 at this point in time. Well, that's 3 1s. That is terrible. Terrible.
Trying not to laugh.
Very terrible. As you see, the dice rolls here are not doing well at all, because I theoretically should be hitting that. And so then Groot's just going to camp on 1 power just in case. Rogue has spent her action just flying towards the combat using 3 of her power to move 14 inches. For my last activation for this round, and hopefully he does something, Rocket is going to use 1 to just move 3 inches just outside here. And then he's going to use a overloaded photon pistol on Wolverine. Here's a dice roll for the overloaded photon pistol on Wolverine. And so that is definitely a hit and a critical, so he takes 2 damage. Yay, I actually do something. Using the last of Rocket's power, he's going to do another overloaded photon pistol on Wolverine again. And so that is another hit right there when you factor in his attack value of 7. So another 1 damage this time to Wolverine. Deadpool is going to be Taylor's last activation for this round, so he's going to be using 1 power to move Deadpool into range of a Bang Bang onto Dr. Doom. So the first attack is going to be an overloaded Bang Bang onto Dr. Doom. He does get to reroll 1 of these dice because of his ability. It is a critical, but you still get to reroll 1 to see if you can get something higher. And so that is definitely a hit on Dr. Doom, so he takes 2 damage. Second Bang Bang on Dr. Doom, and it's double 8, so that doubles the base damage, and then also gets +1 from the crit. So he takes 3 damage from that 1 Bang Bang. That is really good. End of the round, this is what it looks like. We have Deadpool over here that just did 4 damage in total with 2 attacks to Dr. Doom. We have Wolverine up against Nova and Groot and Rocket. Colossus is coming in from over on that side. Cyclops is hiding out over here, and Rogue is making her way over there. It's not looking good for the Cosmic team. I'm going to go into the initiative phase, and I'm going to be drawing this time. I'm kind of hoping for one of my tokens. Go from there.
Nah, you're going to do.
It's a white one. I'm going to activate first. I did forget, actually, Nova is in the pink, so at the end of the round, he does need to make a stamina test, and he fails, so he is unconscious. So my first activation this round is definitely going to be Nova to see if I wake him up. So I need to roll 10 or less on 2 dice. And so I rolled a 9. So he does take a -1 power from being knocked out, and he does take a -1 power from standing up because he is prone. After standing up, Nova here is going to do a overloaded grab and throw on Wolverine, and Wolverine is going to improve his physical defense, so he goes up to 18. This isn't good because I only have an attack of 5 with Nova, so I need to roll really well here, like 14 on 3 dice, and we've seen how well I've been rolling with dice. And so it continues. That's only a 10. Not good. So Nova is now left with 1 power, and he's going to sit there and do nothing with it. And we'll go over to Taylor next. Wolverine's going to be Taylor's first activation, and he's going to move him over to the side. And then he's going to use the best there is up against Nova. But I'm going to use Advanced Bodyguard with Groot, as well as improve his physical defense by 2. So he needs to actually roll 19 or higher on his overloaded, the best there is attack. So let's see what happens. And so that is 9, 11, plus his attack of 6 at this point in time.
Yep.
That is not enough to actually affect Groot. Dr. Doom is going to be my next activation. He's going to use 6 to move over here, but he's not actually going to balance there, so I'm just going to put him up front. But he's outside of 2 inches of Wolverine where I was placing him back there. And then he's going to use 2 Mystical Blasts on Wolverine. So the first one is going to need a whole whopping 8 or more on 2 dice to hit. And so there's a 10. So that's 2 damage onto Wolverine, who can't improve his physical defense or anything as of yet. And then he's going to do it again. And that's an 8, plus his attack value of 6. So that is 14, which beats the magical defense of Wolverine, also dealing 2 more damage to Wolverine, and puts him into the pail. Colossus is going to be Taylor's next activation. He's going to be moving into base contact using 2 power with Groot, and then he's going to use a overloaded crushing smite. I already have improved physical defense with Nova, so his defense is at 18, so he needs a total of 19 or higher to actually hit.
Attack 7.
Yeah. And that will not do it. So that is 11 plus 7 is 18. So that attack misses, and you are out of power at this point in time with Colossus. Groot's my next activation. He's going to move over here into base contact with the Wolverine. He's next going to overload a grab and throw on him. So he has a physical defense of 16. So I need a lot. So I need to get 11 or higher on 3 dice. And it actually hits. Wow! It hits this time. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to hurl him into this crate, which will destroy this crate, but it'll also deal 3 damage to Wolverine as well. So he is also knocked prone, which is not good.
And I'm in the red.
And you need to make a stamina test at this point in time then. And so that is a fail for Wolverine's stamina test. He is actually knocked out, not just knocked prone. Uh-oh. Groot is holding on to his 1 last power in case he needs it to defend somebody this round. He's not doing anything else, so we'll go back to Taylor next. Rogue's going to be using 3 power to do a full move into Groot over here. And then what's she going to do from there?
Super Strike.
4, so Super Strike on Groot.
Overloaded.
All right. I'm going to improve his physical defense. It is a physical attack, is it not?
Yes.
Yeah, so, okay. So I'm going to improve his physical attack at this point in time. And that's definitely, I think, going to be a hit, because you only have to get a 19 in total. And that's a 13 plus your attack value.
Which is 6.
Yeah, so that is how much damage to Groot?
2.
2 damage
Stun
to Groot.
2.
My last activation this round is going to be Rocket, and he is going to use his Red 1 heavy plasma rifle on the knocked out Wolverine, who has a -4 energy defense, dropping him to a 12. This attack cannot be overloaded, so I need to get really good. I need to roll a 6 on 2 dice. A 6
I think you'll get
on 2 dice. That is a 9 in total. So that is definitely a hit, and Wolverine takes 6 energy damage. But I think that, yeah.
Oh, energy? No, he's...
So with that 6 energy damage, Wolverine is incapacitated, and that does gain me a victory point this turn. And might help even out the score of the playing field next round, but I doubt it, because I've been taking some bad damage and not a lot of good rolls on my behalf. Last thing that Rocket's gonna do is he's gonna use his photon pistols and shoot into Deadpool. So are you gonna do anything with that?
Yeah.
You're gonna improve. Yeah. Okay, so it goes up to a 17, 18 because train's in the way. So I need to roll really well here. I need a 12 or higher on 2 dice. And that does not do it with a 5 in total. And that will be the end of Rocket's activation. Deadpool is going to be activating next and going to be moving up 8 inches to within 10 inches of Dr. Doom. And is going to bang him again with an overloaded bang. So it ends his movement right there. Here's a roll. And that is a critical. Might as well. It's going to hit no matter what, so you don't need to re-roll that one. So he does take 2 damage. Taylor's last activation this round is going to be Cyclops, and he's going to be using how much to move?
2 power to move.
And you're just going to move him up on
I'm going to move him right back where he was.
Yeah.
Now he's got a beeline in for Doom.
For Doom.
And he's going to use the rest of his power to overload a massive blast.
All right. So that's 5 power to do that.
Yep.
And so Dr. Doom does have a 16 energy defense.
And I am attack of 7.
Yep.
So that means I need to roll 9 or higher.
That's right.
On 3 dice.
And so that is a critical. So that the damage on that is 5.
5.
Goes up to 6 because of the critical, but goes back down to 5 because Dr. Doom has resist to energy. So he takes 5 damage. Dr. Doom is now in the red, so he needs to make a stamina test to see if he is alive or conscious, and he is with a roll of a 6. For whatever reason, I forgot to save a point of power with Groot, which would have been great for Bodyguard. End of the round, Nova needs to make a stamina test to see if he stays conscious. He's fine with a 4, and Doom does as well, and he's good with an 8. Phase, let's see what Taylor draws out.
Come on, blue.
Uh-oh, it's a blue. Do you want priority or not?
Yes, I want
priority. All right, we'll come back with his first action next. Deadpool here is going to be Taylor's first activation for the round. He's going to be doing some bangs into Dr. Doom. So this is an overloaded bang. I'm going to, I was going to say use Groot to Bodyguard before you rolled, but you rolled too fast here. So that is a whopping 16 versus Groot's physical defense of 16. So that is a miss. Same thing from Deadpool, and Groot will also use Bodyguard, so that is 13 plus 7, so that's another damage into Groot. Dr. Doom will be my first activation this round. He's going to be using 2 power to use Mystical Force Field, so everybody within 2 inches of him cannot be, or it cancels all range attacks, or is immune to all range attacks. He's next going to use a overloaded Mystical Blast on Deadpool there. So Deadpool has 1 power left. Is he going to improve his... Actually, it's magical, so you can't improve your defenses. So he's 15, I believe, so I need to get 11 or higher on 3 dice, because I only have an attack of 5 right now. But that is a 13 in total, so that is 2 damage to Deadpool. And after that, Dr. Doom does nothing else, because he has used all his power. Rogue's going to be Taylor's next activation. She's going to attempt to power drain Groot for the regrow ability, so that he's using 6 of her 7 power. And Groot can't improve his physical defense, so that's 13 plus her attack bonus of 6. So that is a hit. He takes 3 damage.
3 damage.
All right, 3 damage to Groot, and she gets regrow. And that is all she does for her round, so Rogue stays exactly where she is. Nova's going to be my next activation. He's going to use 1 power to move over here. He's next going to use Blast Off, so it takes 2 power. It's just a 2 damage physical attack. Are you going to do anything against that?
No.
Okay, so I need to beat your physical defense of 16. So I have attack of 5, so I need to roll 12 or higher on 2 dice. Doable, but not with a roll of a 1 and a 6. After that, he's going to use the last of his 7 power, so 4 in total is what he has remaining, to use a overloaded grab and throw on her. He's going to do anything against that?
No.
All right, so overloaded grab and throw. Let's see if I can actually grab you. So it's 12 plus the attack of 5. I do grab you, and I am going to hurl you back into that damage over there, that statue here, right into that. So you are knocked prone at this point in time.
What's the distance on that?
It is actually 6 inches, so it's double your strength. So she takes 2 damage from that throw. So it's my bad. So at the stone wall is where Nova would be targeting Rogue. And Nova ends his activation like so. Colossus is going to be Taylor's next activation. He's going to move him around and into base contact with Dr. Doom. Uh-oh. After getting into base contact with Dr. Doom, Colossus is going to use Crushing Smite on him, which I will be improving the physical defense and bodyguarding with Groot, dropping him down to 5 power. So you need to get a 19 or higher on 3 dice plus your attack roll. So that is a 8 plus your attack, 7. That is a 15 in total. So that is a miss. And he has no power left this round, so Colossus is going to stay stationary right there. Rocket's going to be my next activation. He's going to move over here. And then he's going to do an overloaded RPG at Rogue, who is at a defense of 15 and out of power right now. So Rocket needs to roll 9 or higher on...
16.
You're at -1 because you're prone. So 15. So I need 9 or higher. Or sorry. 10 or higher. No, 9 or higher. On 3 dice. And so that is a big whopping miss right there. So my dice rolling is coming back. Yes! Next, he's going to be coming back over this way with his last power. Cyclops is going to be Taylor's next activation. He's just going to move over that way, using a couple of power and doing nothing else this round. Last model to activate this round is going to be Groot. He uses Regrow to regen 2 power. Then with his last 2 power, he's going to use Branch Out on Rogue. So that is a 14 plus his attack of 6. So that is a hit for 20, so she takes 2 more damage. End of the round, need to make some stamina tests here. Dr. Doom, see if he collapses. And he does not with a roll of a 5. And then Nova as well, need to see if he collapses.
Roll high.
And he rolls a 9, and his stamina is a 10, so he is good as well. Initiative phase next round, let's see what happens. I'm hoping for a white, and there it is. So we're going pretty much in order here, so we'll come back with my first activation next. My first activation this round is going to be Dr. Doom on Rogue. I'm going to be using his Orb of Doom on her, which is a Explosive 4, which nobody else is within, but there is some terrain there that will take some damage. I am going to overload it and use all of his power to do it, so all of his 6 power to do it on Rogue. Rogue has a energy defense currently of 15 because she is knocked prone, so I'm really hoping that I roll really good on this. Really hoping. And so that is a 14 plus 2 is 16 plus his attack value of 5, 21, so that is 4 damage to Rogue. Whoa. So let's get rid of some of this terrain here. These things are all blown up by that Orb of Doom, and so is that tree. And there's a big hole there now, left where Rogue was. End of Doom's activation there. You see another crater with all that terrain being blown up, and Rogue is still prone and is not doing well. She is in the pink. It's really hoping for a crit there to put her into the red and force her to make her stamina check, but that did not happen, so we'll see what Taylor does next. Alright, so Cyclops here is going to use an Optic Devastation overloaded on Doom. I then have used Advanced Bodyguard with Groot and improved his energy defense to a 18. So you need to roll a 12 or better with 3 dice to actually hit Groot. What is this cheap stuff?
That was a 4.
Yeah, so that's 9 plus your attack 7 is only 16, and so that fails. Cyclops is using last of his power to do a focus beam overloaded on Doom. Yep. Again, I'm going to use the bodyguard on Groot to protect him. And so that is enough to hit Groot and deal 2 damage to him, plus 1 because it is a critical.
Yeah.
At the end of Cyclops' round, he's going to make a willpower roll to use Master Tactician, so he needs to roll 9 or lower here, I believe.
8 or lower.
Oh, 8 or lower. Let's see. And that's 11, does not go off. Nova is going to be my next activation. He's going to use 2 power, fly into base contact with the prone Rogue. He's then going to use 3 power to use an overloaded blast off on her. So that's should be a hit because she only has physical defense right now of 15. So that's 13 plus his attack value of 5. So that's 18. So she takes 2 damage there. Then needs to make a stamina test because she is in the red. So you need to roll 2d8. And you're fine. Last 2 power on Nova is going to be using another blast off on Rogue. And so that's 9 plus his attack value of 5 is only 14. So that is a miss. Colossus is Taylor's next activation. He's going to use Titanic Slam, which is an expansive 3 wave, or expansive wave 3 inches. So it hits everybody in there. Groot has used Bodyguard and improved his physical defense. So to take Dr. Doom's hit. So he needs to roll 3 dice and beat 18 or higher with his attack value, I think, of 7.
Yep.
So that's 13, definitely a hit. So I then get an agility test for half damage, which I fail. So he takes 2 damage from that.
Yep.
Okay. And then you get the one that's up against him as well. You're overloading that one individually.
Yes.
All right. And so that is another hit. So I'm going to roll for half damage on that. And again, I fail, so he takes 4 damage so far. And then
he's in the red.
Yeah. And then up against Rocket. Rocket has improved his own physical defense, but that is still a critical hit, and he will take 3 damage from that. Groot is in the red after that attack. He needs to make a stamina test, so he needs to roll 9 or less. And so that is an 11. He is out. So for my next activation here, I'm going to be activating Groot, see if he stands up. Needing to roll 9 or less on 2 dice. And there's a 6. He stands up. Does leave him with 1 power remaining because he loses 1 for being knocked out and loses 1 for standing up. And that is all he is going to do this turn. Deadpool is going to be Taylor's next activation. He's going to be doing a bang bang into...
Overload. Nah.
Are you going to overload it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Groot's going to use his last power to take it. And so that is a critical hit, so he takes 2 damage. And then you can try to re-roll one of those if you want, of the 7s, to see if you get an 8 to deal that much more damage, but it won't be a critical then at that point in time.
Too late to roll it.
So he takes 1 damage into Groot. But that does put him in the red, so he doesn't need to make a stamina check, and he's fine. Alright, and here is the second overloaded bang bang up against Dr. Doom. He is going to have to take this one. Let's see what happens. And so there's a critical, but you can't get double 8s, so he will still be in here. Let's see if he becomes knocked out, because he is in the red. He is knocked out. Rocket's going to be using 1 power for my next activation to move over here. And then next he's going to be using a overloaded big Flarkin gun on Rogue. Rocket here is using the big Flarkin gun up against that. I'm just putting it on the edge of her base so I don't hit Nova. And it is overloaded, so he has an attack value of 7, and she has an energy defense of 15 and cannot... 14 minus 1
all defenses.
Oh, 14. So I need to roll 8 or higher on 3 dice. Let's see how well this does. And that is a 11 plus his attack value of 7 is an 18. So that is 2 damage to Rogue.
2.
Last 2 power from Rocket is going to be using a photon pistol into Rogue. So I do need to roll pretty good here, I think. And so I need 8 or higher on 2 dice, and that is a 12 plus his attack of 7 is definitely enough to give her another point of damage. For the last activation of this round is Taylor's Rogue, and she does spend 1 power to stand up from the prone position. I think she might be flying over to Dr. Doom with 2 power and hoping to take him out. Rogue here is going to do an overload strike against Dr. Doom, and his physical defense is 16, so I'm hoping that it's not a good roll. Taylor's hoping for a good roll. Let's see what happens, and that is a critical, so that's 9 plus your attack value of...
5.
14, so that is a miss. He's still alive!
And I can't do anything.
End of the round, this is what it looks like. We have Deadpool all the way over here by himself. We then have Cyclops all the way over here by himself. We got a whole bunch of guys over here. So we got Nova, we got Rocket, Groot, Colossus, Dr. Doom, and Rogue. We now need to start making some power or stamina tests for everybody here. So I have a couple that I need to make. Actually 3. I need one for Nova. So I'll start with him. And he rolled a 6, so he's fine. And then I have one for Groot. He rolled a 10. And his stamina is a 9, so he is out. And I have one for Dr. Doom, which is stamina 8, and he rolled a 6, so he is fine. And you have one for Rogue. Let's see what happens to her. She rolls an 11 and is out. So both Groot and Rogue are unconscious for this round. Initiative phase, let's see what happens. Taylor's going to draw here. I'm hoping for a clear one. He's hoping for a blue one. Let's see.
I got 2 in my hand.
And it's a blue one! Oh no, Doom could be in trouble. So for the first activation this round, it is Colossus, and he's going to be using a Osmium Punch on Dr. Doom. I will be improving his physical defense
and I'm
up
gonna
to 18. So let's see what happens. So that is 9 plus 4 is 13 plus his attack of 7. That does deal him 2 damage, and he is incapacitated. Next, Colossus is going to be using Crushing Smite on the knocked out Groot. So he is hoping for a critical here for the extra damage, and that is 8 plus his attack of 7. So he takes 2 damage, plus he is pushed back D8 inches, and that will be right into Nova, so 3 inches right back into Nova. So right back there, if he will stand. Something like that. My next activation is going to be Groot. I need to wake him up or else he's going to be dead, so I need to make a stamina test here. And that's a double 1, so he is awake. That's actually useful there.
There you go.
So we'll see what he comes back with next. Groot, after becoming conscious, stands up with 1 power and uses Regrow, leaving him with 1 power remaining and healing 2 wounds. Cyclops is going to be Taylor's next activation. And what are you doing with him?
Cyclops is going to move forward to 4 inches.
Yeah.
To get there. So that he can do Optic Devastation on Groot.
Awesome.
He's going to overload it.
Groot's going to increase his energy defense by 2 up to an 18.
Sounds good. So, and I've got an attack of 7.
Yeah. And you're overloading, so like you said, so you are down to a whole bunch, 1 power left, I think, now.
And so that means I need 11 or higher, because I need to tie?
You need to beat it, so 12 or higher.
12 or higher on 3 dice.
Yep. Let's see the roll. And there it is right there. So Groot does take 3 damage, and then you need to roll to hit Nova.
So with 3 as well?
Yeah.
Or is it just 2?
With 2, because you have to overload each one individually, so.
Should I overload it? I've got the...
Good.
Yeah, I've got the 1 last point. Okay, it's going to overload it.
And so he hits, and I get to make a stamina test, or agility test, to see if I can take half damage. And I fail, so he takes 3 damage from that. 3 damage on that. Yep. So from that attack, we have Groot who takes 3 damage, and Nova who takes 4. Both are still on the feet, and we'll see what happens next. So Cyclops, after his activation, is going to do a leadership test.
It's not a leadership test.
Wow. He's going to do a willpower test.
So 8 or less, right?
Yes. And he goes off. He's going to be activating another model next. Deadpool here, he's going to be moving up 8 inches to get within hopefully 10 inches of Groot. And performing a bang bang on him to hopefully take him out.
So that's used 2.
Yep.
So that means I've got 4 left, which means I'm just going to do a normal one because he's really weak right now, isn't he? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try and do 2 of them on him.
And you get to re-roll 1 attack die anyway, so. Alright, so that's an 8 plus your attack of 7. It's going to be a miss.
Unless I re-roll 1.
Unless you re-roll 1.
So we'll re-roll 1. Nope.
It's a miss.
So on the second one,
yep,
down to 0 power.
That's a hit.
It's a hit. We're just going to leave it as a hit.
If not, yeah.
Because Groot is dead.
The Groot is incapacitated this round. My next activation is going to be Rocket here. He's going to be using a overloaded photon pistol into Rogue.
Triple 1s.
Yes. And so that is definitely a hit. does deal 1 damage to Rogue, and does incapacitate her. Boo. Next part of Rocket's activation is going to be the big flarkin gun on Deadpool here, overloaded. And so here we go. As Deadpool's already out of power, so...
Triple ones!
He has what? Energy defense 15? So
15.
I need 9 or higher. And there it is.
There's the 9 or higher.
There's the hit. So that is, you do get an agility test for half damage. And 9, what's your agility?
9.
So you take 1 damage on Deadpool. This is going to be the last activation for this round. He's going to fly over here with 3 power, get into contact with Cyclops, and then he's going to use the rest of his power to do overloaded grab and throw. So let's see what happens. So it's definitely a grab. That's 25 in total. Definitely a grab. I'm then going to throw him over here into the side of this cliff. Right here. And he takes 2 damage, as well as being knocked prone. That's the end of the round, so this is what it looks like. Cyclops over here knocked down. This guy needs a stamina test, and that's cocked 8, is going to probably fail, and is knocked out with a roll of an 11. So that is not good. And then Colossus, Rocket, and Deadpool are over there. Last round initiative phase. Let's see what happens.
Blue, blue, blue.
Oh! Yes. And the pattern is broken. So we'll come back with Taylor's first activation next.
For 1.
Taylor's first activation is going to be Cyclops. He's going to use 1 power to stand up.
Yep.
And then from there, I think he's going to be targeting Nova.
With an optic devastation.
An optic devastation, eh?
Yep.
All right.
Explosive 3. Oh, he's got that special thing where you can like...
He has resist 1 energy. So.
But even when he's knocked out?
Yeah, it's passive, so it's always on. So, he does have a -4 to his defense, -5 because he's in the tail. So, he is at an energy defense of 13 right now.
But he's going to lose this first one, which I've got to do because I said I was going to do it. So I don't even need to roll, do I?
You got to roll the hit. Okay, so that is a hit. So he takes how much damage from the attack?
3.
3 damage from that attack. So he's down in the red. He's already knocked out, so he doesn't need to be.
But
doesn't need to roll again.
Doesn't he get to not? He resists one of them, doesn't he?
No, because that's not a passive ability. So the absorbing thing it can only be activated from awake. And so the next one's gonna be the focus beam.
Focus beam.
Yep.
Regular focus beam. And
so that's a hit as well. So that's 2 more damage, or 1 technically, because of his resistance to energy. Uh-oh. Yeah. Nova's going to be my next activation. I'm going to make a stamina test. I need 10 or less here. And there's an 8, so he is awake. So Nova's next action after waking himself up is going to be an overloaded Nova Pulse onto Cyclops. And that is definitely a hit. Cyclops had no power left to improve his defense or anything else. So Cyclops takes 2 more damage. Colossus is going to be Taylor's next activation. He's going to be using 2 power to move into base contact with Nova. And then he's going to use an overloaded Osmium Punch on him. So he does need to get pretty high, but that is a good enough roll to do how much damage?
2 damage.
2 damage, so 1. Because he is his resistance. And then he gets pushed back D8 inches.
Nope, not that one.
The second one? Okay, that's the standard one.
That's the
crushing smite that you're about to do right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Crushing.
No. I'm doing both osmium punches.
Okay.
Neither of them have a pushback.
Excellent. And so that is a 6 plus his attack bonus of 7. So that is a miss on Nova. So he takes 1 damage from the first attack. Rocket will be my last activation in this round. He is going to do an overloaded photon pistols into Cyclops. Here's the overloaded roll. And so that is definitely a hit, so Cyclops takes 1 damage. Next he's going to do a basic photon pistol shot into him. And so that's 7 plus 7, 14. That is a miss. And then he's going to use his last 2 power to do that again. And so that is a 14 plus 7, so that is another damage into Cyclops, who is in the pale and will hopefully, well, it doesn't matter if he makes a stamina chest or not at the end of the round because it's round 6. Deadpool is going to be the last activation for this round, and the final round that is. He's going to be moving up there, and he's going to be doing some bang bangs into Nova.
First one will be 3 dice.
Yep, overloading.
Yeah.
I would re-roll one of those. And so that is a hit, and does do 1 damage, but then resisted. So no damage. And then I would re-roll the 1. That also is a miss. So sorry, that would have been a hit.
No.
But no damage.
Yeah, no damage.
So because of resist as well. So that is that. I think that is the end of the round. It definitely looks like a mutant or X-Men victory. We'll come back with the after action report next. Welcome guys to our after action report. You saw the match and the battle between the X-Men and Cosmic Forces with Dr. Doom. Sure. Why not? It's a comic book thing anyway. So it ended up being a 3-2 win for Taylor. His X-Men decimated my forces and my team.
A little bit.
Yeah. Right, because
I got lucky.
Yeah, my rolls first round were terrible, and that really, I think, hinged for the rest of the battle. You know what I mean? Like, it was one of those things that if I
put you down so much that
because I didn't do any damage to any of your guys.
First turn,
and
no.
And you did a lot.
Yes.
You know, to me, or some, I should say. So he got his victory points from killing off my highest level model, as well as having 50% of his guys left, as well as killing 50% of mine, where I gained 2 victory points from killing his highest level model, as well as having 50% of my models remaining on the board. So it's 3-2 win. That sucks.
It was fun to do it. It was not an urban landscape.
Yeah, it was different. It was good. I honestly don't mind it at all. And like really, they battle all over the place. So I actually have an idea in my head which was gonna be one of these style settings for like a campaigner type thing, and sort of like an invasion style campaign into like Latavia and Doctor Doom's sort of buildings. Yeah. That way I can pull out some of my non-urban style terrain, right? So, but do you have a Taylor? Do you have a hero of the match? I was going to say, do you have a Taylor? But I meant, do you have a hero of the match? It's what I meant.
I'm going to say Cyclops.
Yeah.
His blasts helped completely change the battlefield and opened it up so that the rest of the things. I was a little stupid with Wolverine.
And throwing them in there.
But it worked out to my advantage.
Yeah, well, it made me focus everything on him, because as soon as he did that, I was like, okay, it's going to change what I'm going to do. And as soon as he threw him up there, I was like, okay, I'm going to jump on that opportunity to try to get as much damage on him as possible.
Distraction noodle.
Yeah. And Cyclops-wise, I definitely would have to agree with you. He is a huge amount of damage. Like, he's a huge damage output. So
I just wish he had normal attack.
Yeah, like a strike.
A strike. Yeah. Just something simple, because there were points it's like, there's no point in me sending him in there because he's not going to be able to do anything.
That's right. That's right. And see, I don't know who, I think Nova would probably be my hero for this match.
Or Groot.
Groot was Groot is very close. Like, I don't think he put out as much damage, but he protected people. Exactly. And so like it's really a toss-up, I would say. I agree with you actually there. It's between those two for myself. But overall, it was a good game. Taylor, thank you very much for coming, dude. Obviously, you'll see more of me and you'll see more of this guy. So please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, ignite your hobby.